Hello, my name is Randy Rolfe, and I'm an independent consultant with Nikken, the world's leader in natural technologies for health. And this is a product showcase. We're going to give you an introduction to the world of Nikken, especially the products that we're all using and enjoying and really reduce stress and improve our well-being. So I'm going to start with a few slides, and then we're going to tell some of our own experiences with the products. So do you see my screen? Let's see here. Here we go. And I want to do try a little thing here. So now if I if I press this, then you don't see each other and me, right? You just see the screen. Is that right? Hello? Oh, you have to unmute yourselves. I'm sorry.
No, we still see everybody.
Oh, do you? Oh, it's just me.
They're down their right-hand side.
Oh, okay. Well, if I do, just bear with me for a second. That doesn't change it either.
We have the option on our screen to make the photos smaller if we want to.
Okay, because somebody was telling me there was a way, I guess it was Hattie Jane was saying there was a way to have just the picture and not people moving around while we're doing the slides. But anyhow,
Randy, that's the minimize the guest. I don't know what you call it, but the picture part of it, you have you can minimize it or maximize it or put it on gallery. And if you minimize it, then you don't see everybody moving around. But really important is not having the lineup on your computer on the side, because that obscures the slides. And if there's writing on the slide, if there's text on the slide, then it sometimes obscures the text.
Okay, I think
so if the pictures of the people are either across the top or minimized, then that's not a problem.
Okay, thanks a lot. I think I just did that. So let's move on. Thank you so much, Mrs. Kramer.
You're welcome.
So our first slide is discover active wellness and live a life in balance. And that's the core of what we're doing here with Nikken. It's very exciting. I discovered Nikken many years ago and have been using the products ever since with my husband, my children, and grandchildren, and have shared it with many, many, many people. And I fell in love with it very quickly. I knew it was what I was looking for because I had a lot of experience in wellness. I'd been teaching nutrition for over 20 years at that point. And I had also studied a whole lot about natural energy and what we needed, why we needed to get outside, why we needed good sleep, why we needed to minimize our exposure to some of the distorting energies of modern living, like electricity and Wi-Fi and that kind of thing. Of course, there was no Wi-Fi back when I discovered Nikken, but there is now, and studies are showing that it does affect how people sleep and their anxiety level and their stress level and that kind of thing. So I was very excited to find this company that was really, even starting in the 70s, exploring how to put us back in a natural energy field as if we were walking out in the park, in touch with the Earth's magnetic field. So that was the core beginning of Nikken, and it was beginning of my discovery of Nikken. I was also a family counselor after I left the practice of law to raise my family, and I wrote a number of books on family life. And what I found was that the most important things we do every day are the little choices that add up to make a big difference. They have a compounding effect on our health, which affects our mind, our body, our relationships, our income potential, and our happiness. And the company, Nikken, has this amazing motto called humans being more. They produce amazing products to help us, but it's really about building people from the ground up. I'd like to say that, with the Earth's energy. And these lifestyle choices are getting more and more attention, even from the medical world, that so much is in our own hands as far as making those lifestyle choices that help protect us from chronic illness and even accidents and mental depression, that kind of thing. So those little choices we make every day add up to humans under stress or humans being more. And there's a nice graphic that shows that. The environment that Nikken is functioning in is really, we call it a healthcare system, but we really in America don't help people until things start to go wrong. And there's so many influences today that increase the body burden. Stress is a huge thing. It's gotten even bigger since the recession. It impacts all the major chronic diseases, and the ones that kill us and the ones that destroy our quality of life: heart disease, diabetes, fatigue, allergies, sleep, depression, and so on, weight problems. And sleep, 70% of Americans say they have sleep issues, and we know one poor night's sleep drops the immune system by 60%. And of course, the immune system is supposed to be operational to help us minimize the effects of degeneration. Air and water pollution are on the rise in many areas, and today in most areas in the US, indoor pollution is worse than outdoor because we've got thousands of chemicals coming into the typical home, and we're breathing all of those chemicals. And 7 million premature deaths are annually linked to air pollution, according to the World Health Organization. So we want to keep our air as close to nature as possible to purify it and so on. Water is critical. Our bodies are 70 to 80% water, and quality water coming in. Our diet doesn't have as much water as it used to, with fresh vegetables and fruits and so on. And so much of modern life actually dehydrates us. Much of the beverages we drink, much of the food tends to dehydrate us. So we need to replace the quality water. But we find 260 contaminants in tap water. Bottled water can have thousands of contaminants, including agricultural runoff, even medicines from upstream. And since Flint, Michigan, the water quality is in all our headlines, and many cities are now admitting that their lead levels are higher than they're supposed to be, and we know that has neurological effects. So the total toxic burden is huge, and the scientists will say, well, this chemical isn't enough to cause problems, and this chemical isn't enough to cause problems. But when you add them up, it's a huge physical stress on the body, which makes it harder for the body to do what it's supposed to do, and it affects our mental and our physical health. Of course, the people that suffer the most are our children, and this is the first generation that they're predicting they will not have the same longevity that their parents and grandparents had, which is really frightening and irresponsible. Obesity rates are the highest ever. A third of the country are actually obese, 78 million adults and 12 million children. 1 out of every 5 adolescents is obese, and 30% of children are overweight. And we know it's not enough essential nutrients and too many junk foods. And it's not just because we're all living longer. These kids are getting these problems, cardiovascular disease, cancer, and type 2 diabetes at younger and younger ages. Less than half of adolescents eat the right amount of vegetables. Only 27.1% of high schoolers are getting the activity that's recommended. And low-income families, of course, have it way, way worse. So what is the answer? It's about humans being more. We need to be healthy by our own choice, not leaving it to chance. The statistics aren't good, as I've just shown. And Nikken calls it active wellness, where we are taking an active part in our own wellness and becoming aware of how to do that and making choices every day based on that. And when you think about it, we make dozens of choices every day that affect our overall health in the long term. Nikken is the only comprehensive, holistic, international corporation focused on a complete, balanced approach to wellness. And I just am so privileged to be part of Nikken. They started with the philosophy of the 5 pillars of health. The founder, Mr. Masuda, had learned this in his childhood, and that true health depends on healthy body, healthy mind, healthy family, healthy society, and healthy finances. So we look at this and say, well, which one needs improvement? Because if any of them's getting weaker, the others will all suffer. And if you think about that in your own life, you know, if finances are weak, it's hard to support all those other things. If your health is failing, it affects everything. If you don't have time to build good relationships with your family, that hurts everything else. If your attitude is surrounded by negative people, or you don't have time to build your spiritual life, that affects everything. And if you feel like what you're doing every day isn't contributing, there's nothing bigger than yourself, just getting by, that affects everything too. So they're all really tied together, and it's a brilliant approach. So Nikken's active wellness approach gives us what we call the Nikken advantage. And the picture, if you're looking at the video, shows a lovely house that has incorporated Nikken's products. We have in 5 different areas. We have sleep products, water products, food products. We have a light and air purification. And everything Nikken produces is top of the line, beyond anything else on the market. So it's really fun to be marketing, because no matter what you're talking about, there's nothing else quite like it on the market. So this next slide breaks all our products into 3 categories. We now have about 75 categories, but it started the category in the rest and relaxation, and that still is the core of Nikken's product line. They started with insoles in 1975 in Japan, which is the healthiest country in the world. But they also have huge, huge urban cities where you can live for weeks without ever touching the ground. So they developed these insoles that have patented magnetic design that help restore the body to a more natural magnetic field, even if you're walking on concrete in Tokyo or Manhattan or one of our many North American cities. And then they developed a sleep system, because we spend 7 or 8 hours, maybe even 9, hopefully, in our homes, in our sleep systems, and we need a conducive environment to maximize the value of sleep. And so they developed a futon, a topper, that has these same magnetic technologies. And you just feel fantastic when you wake up in the morning. The stress from the night before, from the day before, is wiped out. We have comforters and pillows that work with the mattress topper to give you an excellent sleep. And the little square there is a little back pad that also incorporates those magnetic technologies and enhanced with other technologies that really improve the effects. And that's designed for the lower back, but you can put it on your chest. I offered it to somebody who'd eaten too much at the 4th of July celebration for his tummy, and in 20 minutes he felt a whole lot better. Our environmental products, the main one is our waterfall, which is a gravity feed purification system. It turns the tap water into what we call pi mag water. Pi is the Japanese word for living, and they discovered this wonderful living water up in the mountains of Japan, and now we can turn our tap water into the pi mag water. So this unit totally purifies the water, gets rid of heavy metals and agricultural chemicals and stuff, and then it alkalizes the water and magnetizes it, and does all these things that nature does to purify water. And it tastes fantastic. Kids will drink it. Even kids that say, oh, I don't like water, they go for this wonderful water. We have a shower system that also produces the PIMAG. And in the picture you see we also have a full spectrum LED light that I have here on my desk, and air purification system, which again does all the things that nature does to help make our air easy to breathe. And then the third category is nutrition and skincare. I could talk about that for 5 hours, but on the picture you'll see a couple of our signature products. The Osteodens is an amazing product based on nature. The immune factor in mother's milk that helps build baby's bones. And we have that in our bodies, but it needs replenishment as we age. And so this helps keep our bone system working well so that it tends not to demineralize and actually can remineralize with the help of this replenishment supplement. And then there's the juice there that is, I believe, the finest juice on the market. There's no added water, sugar, preservatives, colorings, flavorings. It's just the exotic juices that increase the antioxidant effect, the anti-stress effect, the gastrointestinal support, and prebiotic, and so on. We have a full line of nutritionals, everything you need to have the basics for functioning well, and it's truly extraordinary, easy to use, not overdosed, and pharmaceutical grades. So what's on the label is in every capsule, which is fantastic. Not true of many, many nutritionals out there. The skincare line is eco-certified. It's as natural as can be made, and feels wonderful, full line, and even a new shampoo and conditioner that are phenomenal. I also wanted to mention that we have the only organic-based weight management program on the market today. It's very affordable, amazing meal replacement mix called Kenzen Vital Balance, which has none of the things you don't want, like soy or eggs or gluten or wheat or all those things that people tend to have trouble with, and has all the good things. It actually feeds the brain so that you don't crave carbohydrates and sweets, and it's really balanced, gives you everything you need for a third of your top-notch nutrition. And we have people that are who want to lose weight. They incorporate this into their habit for breakfast, and it makes an amazing difference. People are losing weight without being irritable or feeling deprived or having the weight bounce back when they get back to a normal breakfast. Of course, this can become a normal breakfast. It is for me. And then part of the management program is a wonderful cleanse and digestion, and some snacks, and a wonderful tea. And they're all organic. It's truly amazing line. There's nothing else like it on the market. So I take the tea every day. I take the paleo bars as snacks. And the cleanse and digestion just keep everything working the way it's meant to. So now I'm going to end our share for a while and talk about personal experiences. And Karen Rose Matthews is on. I would like her to introduce our special guest, Carolyn Trotta. So Karen Rose, take it away.
Good morning, everyone. I live in the Bay Area of San Francisco, and I met Carolyn out here. She lived out here during one of the Nikken product launches. and she moved back to Connecticut, so we've been keeping in touch, and we share a lot of stories. My stories are more animal stories. Hers, she has 2 children in a family that she uses the products on. So I wanted her to share some of those stories. And I just wanted to add with the weight management program that I've been on, and I'm carrying 10 pounds less after using that for actually starting 2 months ago, but more seriously, really using the Vital Balance for 1 or 2 of my meals. And it's amazing how you really love having that meal and not having to cook. And it's so vital and so wonderful. So I just wanted to add that I've been on that and I love it. So Carolyn, I want to bring you in and have you share some of your stories. You have some great stories, especially I like how you use, these are your go-to products for helping your children when they have something happen. And it's kind of like a first aid kit. So I wanted you to share that and share some of your stories. Hello, Carolyn.
Hi there. Thank you very much for having me on as a guest today. I always love coming on this call. And I know a lot of times people, you meet people and they're like, well, I don't have anything wrong with me. Why do I need Nikken products? And I use Nikken, as Karen Rose said, as a first aid kit. I have countless stories in the 15 years that I have been involved with Nikken for myself, and now that I have a 7 and a almost 9-year-old, and my husband, where things happen, and I never leave the house without a power chip. Most recent thing, I was at the grocery store, and the grocery store that I go to, the shopping carts, they've got this stupid bar at the bottom. If your arms aren't extended when you're walking, you kick it, and I hit my shin on it, and within seconds, I had a knot in the middle of my shin, and it hurt really bad. I got to the car, I took my power chip out, I had a piece of duct tape, and I taped it to the front of my shin. Took me about 15, 20 minutes to get home. By the time I got home, there was no mark left on my shin. So had I not had the power chip, I would probably still have a bruise on my shin. And that would be it would hurt a lot. I had a situation, I was splitting wood with my husband, and I was wearing gloves. He kept putting the logs onto the splitter, and I was taking split logs out from underneath. And as I was picking one up, one fell off, and this finger right here got trapped between a log coming down and mine coming up. I was wearing gloves. Immediate excruciating discomfort. I took the glove off, and my nail had lifted off the nail bed from the side. And I immediately put my hand in the air, and I told my husband to turn the splitter off. And we came into the house. I said, get me a bowl of Pine Mag water and go get me my Palm Mag. We now have the Kenko Touch. Okay, so this is amazing for when you hurt yourself. This is for like immediate, I got an owie. This thing's amazing. But back then it was the Palm Mag. So I put my hand in the pot water to clean it for a little bit, and then I wrapped my hand. He got my long john top, the ceramic fibers in that. I wrapped my hand, and then I just cradled the Palm Mag in my hand, and my neighbor came over, and he's like, oh, you're going to lose that nail. I never lost the nail. So this happened, 10 and a half years ago, and I never lost this nail. It never came off. And in any other instance, you would have lost the nail because it had actually completely lifted off the nail bed. I burned my fingers on a muffler. I was blowing the leaves in the yard, and the muffler fell off. And those split seconds, like if you could step back and say, oh, why did I do that? I reached down and picked it up. The machine had been running for a half an hour. I immediately burned all the pads on my fingers. And I ran in the house, and I called my upline. I'm like, what do I do? And they said, put your hand in a bowl of Pine Mag water. And I did that, and I could feel the heat leaving my fingers. And then they said, if you have a long john top, wrap your hand in the long john top And I did that. And again, I grabbed my palm mag and I held that in my hand. And then I just kept putting CM cream on my fingertips. And they blistered immediately. But then by the time I had treated myself, I treated myself for a good hour or 2 hours, there were no blisters left on my fingertips. So it was just a quick thinking to go to that. I ruptured the ligament in the side of my fingertip. I was at my daughter's softball game and a stray ball came over the fence, and I put my hands up to protect my face, and my fingertip bent completely back. And I put my hand down. I had to flip it back very quickly, and I very quickly got my power chip out of my purse and I put it on there, and it started to really, really hurt when I was like, "Ooh, that's a good thing." And I was able to stabilize the finger. I ended up having to go to a hand surgeon because I had ended up rupturing the ligament on the side and in between the knuckle. So I had this cute little contraption for 6 weeks. You had to wear it for 6 weeks for the ligament to re-knit. But I wear a power band on this wrist because the hand surgeon had done the same thing playing baseball the year before, and he said that his finger still hurt. Well, I wear the power band and my finger doesn't hurt. If I take it off for a few days and I'm doing things, it starts to hurt because it's still mending. But yeah, that's, my daughter fractured her humerus, and we were fortunate it didn't break all the way through, so she didn't require surgery. And I brought my power chip, and I asked if they would cast it in the cast for me. And the orthopedic surgeon said, "Well, what's it going to do?" And I said, "Well, I don't know. Let's see. But I would like it to be in there." And he's like, "Well, that's okay, because I don't know if it'll get damaged or not." And I said, "That's fine. It doesn't matter." So it was in there for 3 weeks. And when they removed the cast, he was very, very pleased with the amount of bone growth that he had already started seeing. And she was casted with her elbow with a complete right angle, and her arm was very stiff. So every morning I would put the CM cream on it, and every night I'd put the CM cream on it, and then I would use my elbow sleeve and put that on her arm, and the stiffness in her arm went away very quickly, and she was able to regain the use of that arm very quickly. Headaches, earaches, tummy aches. This is a little sample of the quilt, and we use it as a sample to show people what the quilt looks like. But this is a great little quilt. My daughter was using this the other day, so she was sleeping on it because her ear hurt. And then when they eat too much, they put it on their tummy. My husband uses it when he eats too much barbecue. But it's an amazing little quilt, and Randy had mentioned that, the back flex, it's not just for the back. I've been up in Vermont skiing and my chest gets a little tight, and I'll sleep with this on my chest. I've actually slept with a mag step on my chest before too. There's just so many different ways you can use these. But if you have kids, especially at the height where they're bumping into things all the time, these things, it's because the thing is with ice, they tell you put the ice on for 10 minutes, 10 minutes on, 10 minutes off. Don't leave it on for too long, because if you leave it on for too long, the body goes into hypothermia and it starts to send more whatever to the area, and then you actually create inflammation. And I'm like, well, I don't have to worry about how long to leave it on, because I know that this will just do what it's supposed to do. And trying to stick ice on a kid, they don't like it. So these have always been, a godsend to me. And like I said, I always carry one with me. So those are just a few of the mishaps we've had where Nikken has stepped in to help us out.
Thank you, Carolyn. Those are great stories, and thank you for sharing your stories about your family. And the other thing I want to do is your hair. I know that you use our hair product, and I was just noticing how your hair is just so, I just notice how healthy it is and how beautiful your hair is. So I know that we have a great shampoo and conditioner, and I know you use that, and I can just tell. It's just really.
Oh yeah, no, it's amazing. Started using it in San Antonio when it came out last October. I have an issue where kind of one of the side effects is my hair falls out, and my hair is getting thin. And every time I would rinse my hair, I had clumps of hair in my hands, and it was very upsetting to me. And my husband was kind of getting upset that there was hair all over the bathroom floor. So I started using the shampoo, and my scalp is healthy now, so my hair is not falling out the way it was. I mean, your hair naturally falls out. Everyone's hair falls out. But my hair has gotten thicker. My scalp doesn't itch anymore. You know, if your shampoo is blue, that's not natural. Ours is battleship gray, and I love it. You know, people pay hundreds of dollars to get wrapped in clay, and this stuff's amazing. It's nutrition for the scalp, and if you don't have healthy hair follicles, you can't have healthy hair. And yeah, and this, I can't say enough about the skincare. It's just it's wonderful. So they've got it all.
Well, thank you, Karen Rose, and we could go on all day, but I love that the stories of just how Nikken works in all the time, and we use it in a moment, and it actually becomes a good habit to just think, okay, what can I use from Nikken? And it's also just all day. You get out of your sleep system, you drink the water, and then you have all these wonderful products available for all those things that happen every day.
Yeah, and the other thing is I feel wonderful that my children, 7 and almost 9 now, they ask for the product. They sleep on the product. They drink the water. That's all they've drank since they were little kids. They drink water and milk, and when they hurt themselves, they ask for a magnet. And people are like, what are they asking for? A maggot? No, a magnet. And they're like, what's that going to do? You know, but they know. They know. So I'm very proud that I'm raising them that way. That you know, they know to go for that.
That's awesome. That's so awesome. Well, thank you, Karen Rose, so much for helping host this program, and for Carolyn's great stories and being our special guest. Carolyn, thank you. I'm going to share just some closing slides here. So ask yourself, what are you doing today that's getting you closer to where you want to be tomorrow? Any goals of progressive realization of a vision, and Nikken's vision is worldwide health, and individually we contribute to that by helping other people. And we need to ask ourselves, you know, where can we improve our lives? Is it healthy body, healthy mind, healthy family, healthy society, and healthy finances? And of course, these products we've been talking about are all about healthy body, but that affects healthy mind. And Carolyn has just showed us how well that can help with healthy family. And, you know, when your kids are hurting, there's no stronger motivation than helping them feel better. And we feel we're helping society. And also, Nikken has an amazing plan. If you decide to share these amazing products, there's a wonderful income opportunity. So we invite you to become a customer. It's very easy. Just get with the person who referred you to this video and webinar and register as a customer, just like any other shopping cart. You get your own page and ID and registration password, and then you can order anything you want. Or you can just go to your consultant and they'll order it for you. It's all very simple. We really believe in customer service and educating people. And that's why Nikken chose direct marketing, so that we could educate people, because nobody knows that these products exist, and yet they can have a huge impact. So please do join us. Start with the insoles, start with the sleep system, start with the waterfall, start with the little power chip that Carolyn was talking about. I carry it with me myself. So thank you for joining us, and get back with the consultant that is your personal wellness consultant. And we really appreciate you joining us. So I'm going to stop the share now. And there are other shows going on. And tonight there's one at 5 o'clock, is it? On Thursdays. I'm always blank out on that. And then there's one Tuesday evening at 5:15. And these are Eastern times I'm giving. And there are other videos that go into more detail about the technology and also about building the business, if that interests you. It's an amazing business. And when I was a lawyer, nobody hugged me, even if I did a great job for them. But in Nikken, you change people's lives on a daily basis, and you get lots of hugs and smiles, and lifelong friends like the wonderful people on this call. So have a great week, and I hope we'll see you again. Thanks again, Carolyn and Karen Rose, for sharing. And we try to have different guests each time, and there's so many stories to share. And so make your own stories. Get some Nikken products. Thanks for listening.
Thank you, ladies.